Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, or in Japanese, Gundu, and the desired sequel. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado in the United States. And my co-host is Angelus. He's from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. How's it going, Angelus?
Oh, might help if I unmute my mic. But yeah, it's going good.
Cool. Well, you know, it wouldn't be, even though this is not Radio Chaos, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be chaotic unless we did some chaos. So anyway, what's happening down there in Straya?
Nothing much. Everything's pretty laid back.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, we just had a. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, it's just like I said, we're so laid back. We're resting upside down, I guess.
You're upside down compared to us, maybe, but we're upside down compared to you. So, okay. So anyway, in this stream, I invited a bunch of folks. I actually invited Den too, and he was going to show up, but he can't. Last minute, he contacted me, DM'd me, and said he couldn't make it. So maybe next week. But anyway, today we want to talk about what should be included in a Mars Chronicles series. And, we'll be certainly hitting some of the characters and some of the arcs that go through with that. But before we do, we have a little bit of exciting news here. And I'm saying this, with a little bit of reservation because I think our friend Charlie Smith actually tweeted out that Alita Battle Angel 2, the sequel, is actually in development at 20th Century Studios, and this is reported by IMDb. So it's a pretty solid source. Now, that said, let's not get our hopes up too much at this point. Just keep our fingers crossed and keep hoping, and then, of course, keep tweeting, and certainly we can tweet at Disney Studios. But this is encouraging right here, I think. Now, it could be that all this means is they've, maybe they've had a couple of meetings on it and have maybe discussed it or something like that. Doesn't mean that they're actually in production or anything like that. But at the very least, it means at least it's on their radar, in terms of, Alita Battle Angel sequel. So anyway, that's kind of a positive development, I think. And I'm saying that once again with severe reservation and, just kind of, just hoping against hope. So anyway, thoughts about this, Angelus?
I want to look into it more myself as well.
Yeah, when I saw, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just making sure it's nothing like a normal wiki where anyone can edit it, sort of thing. Is like only IMDb staff can type that sort of shit in. Yeah,
there was something like God, I don't know how many movies they plan to make over the next few years, but there was several hundred of them. And Charlie Smith actually tweeted this out, so I went and verified it by looking at IMDb. So, but once again, let's be cautious about this one. This could, every time we get our hopes up, it seems like we get bit right in the rear end. So, just keep your fingers crossed, as they would say, and stay tuned. Anyway, this would be great, wouldn't it? Most definitely.
Is that an article as well, or is it just something like on IMDb itself?
It's on IMDb. It's as you can see by the link up there, at imdb.com, and I saw it, I got kind of excited, but I said, oh, wait, let's not jump the gun here, just in case we don't get disappointed again. But, excuse me. But yeah, it's on IMDb itself. And it's done by a guy named Jake279, whoever that is. Hopefully it's a staffer and not just somebody that, think, well, I think this is what IMDb should do. Hopefully it's not that. So I guess one thing you could do is maybe click on that Jake279 link right there, and then maybe it'll be like a web email thing or something like that you can ask, but anybody that saw Charlie Smith's tweet, you can click on that and it'll take you to the IMDb page. So anyway, I'm sure you're probably going to cover this tomorrow, aren't you, Angelus? Or at least you're going to research it a little bit more and then at least bring it up for discussion. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, I almost couldn't contain myself, and then I had to rein myself in on this one. So
yeah, I'd look into it more.
Yeah, I think so. So
you'd think that knowing that we're so what's the word for it, tenacious, for lack of a better term,
yes,
or a better way of putting it, that that they would have like, all right, we're doing it now. You can shut up now, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe they did it just to shut
Or
us up.
I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, that it could be true, and like you said, is they just did it to for us to put a plug in it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hope only we can only hope, as they would say. So, but I still think it's kind of positive. At least somebody at 20th Century Studios possibly is at least thinking about it. And that could be all this is. This could just be, where they had a brainstorming session, a meeting, and this came up and they talked about it for 5 minutes and then they talked about other things. That could be where that is, and they may have assigned work to somebody to investigate, or research or whatever, but who knows. So once again, we just proceed with extreme caution, as they would say. Okay, I guess on to the main topic here. But before we get into the part of that, fan of Cyborg Girl, had a tweet that I thought was pretty interesting. That the Mars Chronicles series is his favorite manga, and he's saying really this is going to take a really talented film director to actually put this together, and I think Robert Rodriguez would fit the bill on this one. So. So anyway, he's just his thoughts about what he would like to see in a sequel, and just kind of keep his emotions in check, as I guess was what he had on that one too. So okay. So anyway, Angelus, I guess here's some of the things we can start out with talking about, but what are some of the things that you might like to see in Mars Chronicle? I mean, I just finished the 4th volume yesterday, so I've still got 2 more volumes to go. And if you don't count that volume 7, which is now coming out in July, I guess, I'll have 3
Yeah.
more to go. But what is it you would like to see, I guess, in a Mars Chronicle series if Disney was to decide to do one?
Just more of Alita's old squad, I guess, and having like one-on-one, well, like a little bit of a tiff, like it was alluded to in the first one. Hang on, in the first one. In the I think the first or second volume, when she had a bit of a sparring match with Erica, and
Yeah.
Erica's commander, if you want to call it that, put a stop to it, or rather called a retreat. And yeah, it's like I don't know, like they definitely aren't. There's no, what's the old saying? There's no love lost.
Yeah.
Between friends or enemies or something like that, and yeah, it would just be interesting because they introduced all like when the commander came in to stop it, they had like a brief introduction of the other squad members, and I'd love to see like a one-on-one battle with them, and not just like the focused on the rivalry between Erica. That too, of course, but
Yeah.
not just that is what I'd like to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see, as a intro into the series, maybe episode 1, of a in the first season of a 8-episode series, I guess. I would like to see that scene where Gelda shows up when those I guess those guys were trying to get Alita and Erica to walk across that minefield. And Gelda shows up, and not to spoil too much, I guess, but Gelda shows up and, kind of takes them all out, I guess, and yeah, I would like to see that just as a, as an intro to it, so I definitely want to see Yoko and Erica, as children, just to add more to the backstory. of Alita, so we can begin to see where she started as a very young child all the way up to, where she, came into the movie. So
Hmm.
welcome, Radio Chaos.
Well, why, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's it going, Radio Chaos?
Pretty well.
Cool.
I just let you guys know I'm just playing music every Thursday night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I put a reminder on that when I saw it, on YouTube, and I couldn't stay the whole time, but I did listen to a little of it, but I had to split. So, but anyway, yeah.
But it's saved on my playlist, so people can listen
Oh,
to
okay.
the whole
Yeah.
little block of music if they want to anytime.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the cool thing about streaming. You don't have to see it when it airs. You can just watch it anytime.
That's right.
But I've been playing music videos from all of you. So guys, keep it going.
Okay. Yep, we plan on doing that. So how's it going, Radio Chaos? What are you up to other than just doing your streaming there?
Well, having a nice time cooking on the barbecue tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, like now down south, down in the southeast, when you say barbecue, they mean pork.
Oh yeah, I was actually cooking pork chops. Funny enough.
Oh, okay, then you're cool. Then, yeah, there. Down south, if you, when you say barbecue chicken, I mean it's definitely chicken. It's you can't just say barbecue on that one. I'm barbecuing. Okay, I'm barbecuing chicken. You can say that, but that's as far as it goes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about, the possibility that Alita Battle Angel 2 is in development. Now that's, Vladi points out, about that, that he's pretty skeptical of it. And I guess I am too, but it's still encouraging, that
it is,
but once again, it could be nothing more than just a one quick meeting with, guys talking about it for 5 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it could be nothing more than that. Or it could be, that they are, kind of doing some kind of research or, doing some of the initial work to see, what would go into it, or if, kind of make an estimate of how successful it would be or something like that. It could be that much too. But I tend to think at this point in time, with COVID being what it is right now, of course, it seems that we're coming down in terms of case numbers, but it seems to me that they can't have gone very far with this, if
I doubt it.
Yeah. But still sounds pretty cool.
Oh yes, it does. It'd be cool if somebody did say animated graphic novel or noir of it. I mean, I've done some experiments, like you can see the keyboard thing playing in some of my music videos. I just did it because it's like, oh, I'm kind of getting the hang of it, but yeah.
Yeah, Maxie, Maxie's not going to be able to make it today either. He has a family commitment, but he's written like I think an 8-chapter, I think, isn't it, Angelus? 8-chapter sequel fan novel type sequel thing. And as soon as I get through reading that, I may put together a little bit of a treatment, and then see what Maxie thinks of it. So.
My most recent episode, because given to Mars Chronicle, my most recent episode was included a fan animation. I'm actually going to look at my episode here real quick. There's a fan animation made at Mars Chronicle where Alita runs into Erica.
Yeah.
And it's one of my episodes here. You guys will keep talking. I'll find it here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll link it up.
Yeah, I was just saying, that I would like to see at the very beginning of episode 1 of season 1 of a series, that I would like to see that scene where those soldiers tried to get Erica and Alita to walk across that minefield.
Minefield, right?
Yeah, and Gelda shows up and basically takes them all out. Because she's a berserker herself. So. And quite a good one too, from just what I know about her at this point. But anyway, I would like to see that just to. I mean, I think it would initially kick off the series with a really exciting, kind of action, and then of course beginning with, Erica and Yoko or Alita being children. It would
Right.
start out a really good backstory for these two.
Right. And the big thing on Mars Chronicle is I'm not even sure if it's halfway done yet.
Yeah, it's volume 7 still out. We were just talking about that too. The volume 7.
There's still questions about what's going on with everyone else, everywhere else. Well,
Yeah.
not everywhere else, but you understand what I'm saying.
You betcha. Yeah. Well, volume 7's not coming out until July.
Yeah,
And I was just telling Angelus I got through volume 4 yesterday. Not that I say I got through it because I enjoyed reading it, quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like getting through it like you're doing something you don't like doing. I mean, I enjoy reading that manga. So as a matter of fact, my plan is to read through the Mars Chronicle and then go back through the manga in the last order again. So just go from soup to nuts on it. So
all right, I'm sending it to the comments because I finally found
okay.
it. So I've got multiple screens. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, if anybody wants to join us on the stream, I posted a link. It's right down at the bottom of the chat there. So just click on it and jump on the stream with us and talk about what you want to see in a Mars Chronicle series. Well, Angelus, what I think I hope I didn't interrupt you on that, but what is it you want to see in a Mars Chronicle series specifically? Because there's a lot to it, so I'm so sure they're going to have to cut some stuff out. So, Angelus, are you?
The testing.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Am I coming through?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you. Well, you're kind of dropping in and dropping out, I think.
Is he using an external mic? Because I found that if I just use the default, if I use the default mic for my phone or iPad, it comes in clear. If I use an external mic, it makes me all static.
Hang on, I'll reboot it if it's coming through.
Also, see if you have other internet processes running, because I found that sometimes that makes me really choppy.
Yeah. Well, I just bought a new computer, so I don't have that problem. So, this thing's fast. It's like
I updated I replaced my RAM to make it 32 gigabytes RAM, but my internet connection only divides so many ways.
Yeah.
So I just try not to have run Netflix or Amazon in the background while I'm doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my old computer was pretty fast, but this new one is like 3 times faster. So,
all right.
And it's got a lot more memory. It's got 32 gigs in it too, and it's a quad core. So anyway, yeah, I guess I would like to see Gelda show up. I want to see Karula too. I want to see her. I mean, she won't show up at the beginning, probably in maybe the 3rd episode or something like that. Karula would show up. But what's cool about her is she's a vampire. That's what I kind of like vampires. I've seen.
Yeah, there's something familiar about her. I don't know what.
Yeah, and she's like 720 years old or something like that. Well, so she's pretty old, but doesn't look it. I mean.
Well, we don't know how old even Destiny Nova is for sure. We don't really know. We only know he's been down on the surface for 50 years. We don't know exactly how old he is.
Yeah, he could be older than her. So,
well, I don't know necessarily older than her, but Destiny Nova could have been around for the fall. We only know he's been out of Zone for 50 years. That's it.
Yeah. Well, Nova, he's biologically immortal, isn't he?
Well, he's very difficult to kill. I was going to mention a theoretical way you could destroy him if you put him in a vacuum, because he doesn't have matter to build his new body that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But otherwise, he's Deadpool on steroids.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So yeah, I guess with him though, when you say biologically immortal, that doesn't mean you can't be killed. It just means that your body's cells don't they don't deteriorate very fast or extremely slow when you have a very extended lifespan. You know, that
Right.
I think that's where he comes in. You know, I think he can definitely be killed. There's no doubt about it. But
Well,
you know,
it's very hard to do so. I mean,
absolutely.
the order was to cut his head off, and that didn't work.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Alita killed him, didn't she? And that didn't work. He seemed to make a comeback on that one. So yeah, and I
Oh,
guess. Oh, go ahead.
and then the worst part is when there's many novas.
Yes. Well, Supernova, he's just demented. He's just. I think
Well,
that guy's just.
he has 3 chips in one skull.
Yeah, he's just like. Well, that's like multiple personality disorder. Is what that's
Oh
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no. I think X is the worst because he literally was killing his own clones.
Who was this again now?
X.
Yeah.
There's the other one, the Chaos
Yeah.
Man, and then Chaos realized, oh crap, there's many Novas.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
And he put bombs on his friends too.
Yeah. And another guy that's he's kind of evil is that Baron Muster. You know, he developed that chemical, I guess, that crystallizes people. You know, when they get it in their body, it turns them into crystals. So I guess it kind of solidifies them. I guess so. He's pretty evil, I guess, too. One of the neat things I've read through the Mars Chronicle is that treasure hunt that these guys were doing. I guess Erica was with him, and that doctor was with him. I can't remember his name, but he ended up shooting that doctor. Spoiler alert. And I mean, they just trying to find that treasure. Which turns out to be like a disc. I think it kind of reminded me of like a CD or something. Or a DVD. Something like that. That had the immortality formula or equation or whatever it was.
Right.
For everything. So yeah, he's pretty evil, and he's kind of like Nova and or like Supernova in some ways. I don't think he's not as difficult to kill, I think, as Nova would be, but he's.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
He might seem to be gone. Same with Gelda. I mean, this whole necro disease or whatever it is. People around Erica seem to be, over 200 that were around when she was.
Yeah. Yeah, that fight between her and Alita, where, Alita tells her that she's a necro soldier, kind of knocks the wind out of Erica, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think she thought she was. I think she just thought she was, continue to go on or whatever, but, when they were fighting, and I guess that spacecraft showed up, and and Erica went up to the spacecraft, and her and Alita didn't get to finish that fight. But anyway,
Right.
Anyway, that's what I remember of it. Anyway. So anyway, what else would you like to see in a Mars Chronicles series?
See the formation of Melchizedek?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it up on the list there, but yeah, that's a good one. And that last bullet, the fall, they could devote an entire season to that thing. I mean, they could do all 8 episodes. Well, there's Angelus.
Yeah.
How's it going, Angelus? Has you got the mic situation fixed?
Oh, I hope so. I've rebooted pretty much everything. Modem, the disconnected and reconnected the headset.
Yeah.
Am I still coming through with choppy for you guys?
No, we can hear you perfect.
All right. Might be like what Radio Chaos said, and having something running in the background.
Oh. Yeah, on my old computer, I used to have to, used to have to exit everything, before I would exit everything and reboot before I could stream on that thing because the audio would start going screwy on me. So I had to. This computer doesn't seem to be doing that. But so we were just talking, Angelus, about how Baron Muster and Nova, how evil they were and how difficult to kill they might be and that kind of stuff. So
they're almost just two, like different kinds of delusional, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that we were just talking about that treasure hunt, where they had that map. You find out they had an old version of the map or something like that, and they were like 20 odd kilometers away from the actual place they needed to be or something like that. So yeah, that would be a neat thing. They could devote a couple of episodes to that, but the fall they could develop a whole season to that thing. I think they could go all 8 episodes because typically that's what series tend to be when they're streaming. Like on
That's
Disney,
true.
is 8 episodes. Now I know the Falcon and the Winter Soldier turned out to be 6 episodes. I think.
That's
So,
true, but with a backstory,
yeah,
that's really huge in scope. You can do it really short. On with the Matrix, they did Second Renaissance, and that was the whole origin story right there in about 1 hour.
yeah.
Both parts.
So anyway, anybody wants to get on the stream with us, jump on. And you can tell us what you want to see in a Mars Chronicles series. Yeah, that Great War, they could take that. That could be like the last season. And they could take it up to the point where they capture Alita, I guess. Well, actually, they could even go beyond that because stuff happened after that, obviously. But they could develop, or they could actually put together several episodes on the Great War, I think.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to see, even though you've already got listed, is more K. Rula, but
Yeah.
I thought she already had her run back in Last Order.
Well, she did have a pretty good run in Last Order, but she does come up in Volume 2, I guess it is, of the Mars Chronicles. So, and like we were just talking about, she's over 700 years old. So she's been around. So I mean, she's been through all that, through the Great War and all that, even long before that. So, I'm not sure. I haven't seen Victor so much in the Mars Chronicles, but I've only read like 4 volumes, so I'd have to wait and read the last 2 of what I have. Anyway, but I don't recall seeing him in that. I did see him in the Last Order, obviously, but
And Erica too.
yeah,
You didn't see her explicitly, but she got Zazie somehow.
yeah. She planted that brain, that whatever that that death method they use, Dim-Mak, I guess. On Zazie, on his head, where his head's going to explode in a month,
Her, yeah.
Yeah, Erica did that. Yeah, Alita actually reversed it. So, I guess with a opposite type frequency or something like that. So,
Yeah, it's called you cancel it out with what is it? Resonance. Yes.
yeah, resonant frequency.
If you've seen Fist of the North Star, that's elaborated on much more.
Oh, okay.
Basically, there's Kenshiro. He's this fighting master, and he makes your head explode in a variety of ways.
Yeah. So anyway, but I think Zazie is also in Mars Chronicle in the second volume. So wouldn't be bad to see her in it, too. So yeah, but I would like to see too Erica. How Baron Muster actually after Erica's. I guess that's her mother, or who she thought was her mother, or they told her it was her mother, or something like that.
Miss Boom, yeah.
Yeah, where she came to get Alita, or Yoko, and Erica went off with Baron Muster, I guess, or Baron Muster ended up with her, captured her, or something. I can't remember how that worked out, but anyway, he kind of develops a liking for Erica, I guess, and of course, on that treasure hunt, there was a little bit of a twist there with that one guy that was supposedly like a guide who was supposed to be Erica's servant or something like that. So that was kind of a neat twist that Kishiro put in there. But I'd like to see that whole arc too, where Erica, they could develop an arc on this that would go beyond the Mars Chronicles, where Erica is being raised or at least living with Baron Muster, and evidently he's teaching her some things. I'm not sure what. Maybe how to be evil or something. I'm not sure.
It's like are you familiar with Trigun? There's two brothers, and they're each raised by different parents.
Yeah.
And one of the parents in Trigun for Knives, the younger brother, was like, let's just say he was really, really cruel.
Yeah.
So Knives figures that being cruel is the way, and just making sure you be as cutthroat as possible is the way to go.
Yeah.
Vash is more passive, and he just decides, hey, I just want to be left alone.
Yeah. Well, I think Baron Muster is teaching Erica something, because it seems like when Erica and Yoko were together, they were like they were like sisters. They were real close and all that stuff, and then they get separated. And it seems like, especially in that volume 2, how they're like enemies. So it's kind of an interesting twist on that one too. So. Anyway, any thoughts about the fall, Angelus?
Well, I guess seeing the war in action, so to speak, is probably going to be more like what Motorball is for the movie, but in like I don't know how to put it. I mean, I guess they could do a flashback similar to what they did with the K. Ruler's backstory on how she came into what's that? I forget what they called the key that they made. Is it?
Oh yeah,
Last Order key.
Yeah, the Last Order key. Yeah.
But anyway, like her life and events leading up to that, and then into the here and now with the leader. They could do something like that, similar, but with the Great War instead. But
yeah, the whole thing where they train Alita too, that would be a neat thing to see. That could be a couple of episodes probably. Because they get her when she's a little girl, and then start putting her in different bodies, till she ends up with a berserker body, So and then she's a really well trained, berserker warrior, I guess. Did we ever determine whether she was a warrior or a high warrior? I can't remember.
oh,
I think Gelda was a high warrior, wasn't he? Or she may have been a master. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was like a third or maybe fourth in the rankings, and the leader was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
She was
Alita was at least a warrior, I think. Though I don't think she was anything below that. I think the ranking below that was war artisan, and I think she was above that. So now, I haven't read all the Mars Chronicles. I don't know if it goes into that or not in volumes 5 or 6, or when Kishiro finishes 7. So
Yeah, I'd say she's a warrior.
yeah, I think so. Possibly a high warrior, but yeah, at least a warrior, I think. Okay, Finn, if you want to come on, now's your chance.
Yeah, don't be
Don't be bashful. We don't, you may be a little, I'd say, self-conscious of your English, but your English can't be any worse than mine. That's for sure.
uh yeah, no, I just realized if there was anything else, but no, I've pretty much said everything. The Great Fall, K Ruler, and then the actual fight similar to what they had with Erica,
Yeah,
being the main 3 things that I'd want to see.
yeah,
I mean, all the other ones, like a little bit more of Gilda too, as well, would be all right. Teenager leader, I guess,
yeah.
but they could fall under the Yoko and Erica as children, but expanding it to them growing up to where they are now.
Yeah, because those two thought they were actually sisters, didn't they? Until they got separated.
Maybe
Yeah, go ahead.
maybe started off like when they're when they're officially introduced. No, that's not the word. Inducted into the actual the army or whatever of counselors. When they're like officially inducted as like as a warrior or whatever,
Yeah,
and they go on the starting from their first mission, I guess, because you get I guess a glimpse or a flashback of that in Last Order too.
yeah. I guess Finn has a good point. You don't get a sense that Erica that they pay as for me. I didn't get this sense that they pay as much of attention to her and her backstory as they do Alita's. You kind of get the feeling that Alita is, they're kind of following her. They do jump off a couple of times, to show like Erica with Baron Muster and that sort of thing, But and then that one little scene with I guess Karula and Queen Lymeria, where they're meeting at the beginning of I think it was volume 2, that kind of thing. You don't get the feeling that, well, at least I get the feeling that Erica's kind of maybe a supporting character almost, although she is pretty prominent in volume 1, I guess. But I'd like to see a little bit more about her backstory too, because you kind of know that Alita's parents were killed in the war. You kind of know that, but you don't have any idea about Erica. At least I don't, and maybe it's because I read over it or something. So.
Yeah, I can't stop staring at my my manga set up there.
Yeah. Yeah, Finn, you must read the manga. That's right. You must do it. Or as they say in Straya, manga. Or in England, manga, which is cool.
I don't know. How do they say it there? Vladdy?
Yeah. Yeah, Vladdy, how do they say it? Manga or manga? Vladdy might have jumped off because I think he said he had a hard day at work or something. I'm not sure. So anyway, that Queen Lymeria, she's isn't she like the monarch or something of Sidonia or one of the Mars provinces? I can't remember. Uh, and I think at least in volume 2, I believe it was, there was a kind of a reference that Alita tried to assassinate Queen Lymeria. So, I kind of read. I don't know if I missed that or what when I read it. So, because when I guess when Alita and I can't remember who that companion of hers was, went to look for Destinova, to see if they could come up with a serum that could cure the necro soldiers, of that of virus or whatever that sickness is that they have that make them necro soldiers. They had that meeting with him, and he indicated, yeah, you can do it, but it's difficult and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, definitely at the beginning of volume 2. I just checked it out then.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think she tried to kill Queen Lymeria, didn't she? Lita did, and I don't know what the thinking was on that, because Alita is pretty bloodthirsty, but you don't get the feeling that she's that she's inherently evil. She may be backing a wrong philosophy or ideology, but she's not like, say, Baron Muster or Supernova. She's
I didn't want to read into any more detail. I just sort of like skimmed a couple of pages to make sure it was in that sort of section.
Yeah.
But from my distant memory, because I did read through the entire manga, Vladi, some time ago, and I remember it was like one of those situations where they didn't get a good look at the person that did try, but they basically had all the evidence point towards the leader.
Yeah. Well, Finn has an interesting question. Is Alita, or rather, is Erica a friend of Alita's, or is she an enemy? And I'm not sure you can divide it like that in a binary sense. When they were young children, like you see in that picture right there, they were so almost like sisters, I guess. And when I first started reading the Mars Chronicles, I thought they were sisters, but it turns out they're not, I guess. But they were very close. And then when they got separated, when Erica was being raised by Baron Muster and Alita was being raised by that person they kept telling her was her mother, they kind of started developing different personalities or something, and they became, I wouldn't exactly call them enemies, although they did fight that one time. You got the idea they're enemies, but I'd call them more like adversaries, which is kind of a step below that, I think. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, Angelus. That's kind of the way I read that fight they had, that they, before Erica got, taken away by that spaceship, that.
I have a feeling that there's more, what's the English I'm looking for? There's more to the dynamic of their relationship that we haven't seen yet. And I say relationship in the very broadest sense, because at the very least, they're frenemies, as they say in the West.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, if I feel like it does shift quite a bit, but because of their unique history, as opposed to the rest of the squad that I mentioned earlier, because of their unique history, I wouldn't be surprised if Kishiro, I guess, changed it up a little bit, maybe just for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess to answer it is a bit of both.
Yeah, and like when they were first starting out in Volume 1, Eric is actually mean to Yoko as a kid's thing, and then she didn't, I guess they made up or something, but because she was the older of the two, and Alita was just a little more than just a toddler almost, or maybe a little older than that, but and as kids are, kids can be pretty mean to each other sometimes. So I think that's what that was, So,
Yeah.
Finn, I guess you want to see Erica in a sequel, right? Well, yeah, it's possible, especially in a flashback. If they were to do like a trilogy or even beyond that, you probably would see Erica a lot more because Erica does in the Last Order. She does that dim mock thing on Zazie, so they'd have to show that for sure. And so she would be a definitely in that part of a subsequent movie. But I think if it's just a sequel of Alita, I think if you did see Erica, it would just be as a flashback, maybe like you suggest.
I have a feeling that she's probably going to be another squad member, I guess, and then have the separation of the two characters if they do dive into that relationship, that have the separation occur at the Great Fall itself. Like maybe she got stuck up in Zalem, whereas Alita was discarded, assuming that they go down that road on how she even ended up in Iron City, etc.
Yeah. So you think it's possible then that probably Nova has figured out how to, save Erica from being a Necro soldier, and then her and Alita get reunited, and then they're both in the military. Is that kind of what your thoughts are, or would that be spoiling anything for me in the Mars Chronicles?
The whole Necro soldier, or even if you went a Resident Evil sort of ish route,
Yeah.
I mean that could be what's the word, retconned, I guess, as Nova's experiments, because
Yeah.
Rector says he demands body parts
Yeah.
for his experiments, and yeah, I have a feeling that they might like they might very well introduce, or had plan on introducing like the nanobot repairing, flesh repairing, basically what Nova is in the manga, on how you can chop him up and he's not really dead.
Yeah, we were just talking, when Chaos was on, we were just talking about how Nova's, biologically immortal, which doesn't mean he can't be killed. Now we agreed that he's pretty tough to kill, that's for sure, but he can be killed, I think. So I mean, I think if anybody could figure that out, and by the way, being biological immortal, and he's probably extremely old, he probably has been kind of around these Necro soldiers, because I think in that one, I think it was the third volume. No, it was the second volume where Alita and that companion of hers approached him. They went looking for him. And they found him, and they asked him, "Can you cure somebody from being a Necro soldier?" And he said he thought so, or something like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see more. We got to see some more. Kind of like what I'd like to see too is kind of like battles in space or something like that. Not a la Star Trek, but something similar to that. As a matter of fact, I think Cran did a really good voiceover for a kind of a setup video for Alita. Way before the movie, and I think the year that there was on that thing, they put the year on 2261 or something something like that. And Alita's basically looks like she looks in the movie, maybe a couple of years younger perhaps, but it's a pretty cool video. So hello, Jaya, nice day. You can come on. I bet you can really add some content to the discussion here. So because once again, I mean, Angelus has read the whole thing, but I've only read 4 volumes of it. So Jaya, if you want to come on,
That's still however many volumes more than Vladdy.
I think Vladdy's off though. I don't think he's out there anymore.
Yeah, but this is still recorded, so
Oh yeah, well he can go back
yeah.
and look at it, right? Okay, Jaya says he's got to go do something with his wife, so that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, geez, what else?
I guess that Queen Lymeria, she's kind of an interesting character, isn't she? Oh my goodness, Finn. Yeah, pineapple pizza. Yeah, exactly, Finn. So, yeah, that Queen Lymeria, she's kind of an interesting character. I can't remember. She is royalty, isn't she? In one of the provinces, I guess, on Mars. Um, I don't know much about her. I can't remember reading too much about her except her and Alita meeting. Is about all I know about her. So, Angeles, you know anything about Queen Lymeria? Because anything you would know about her would be more than I know.
Not really. They didn't dive. They dove less into her character than they did even Cave Ruler.
Yeah.
I mean, hang on. I don't know much about her as I would about Gelda specifically, as an example.
Well, I know she's carrying around that, was it a cat or a dog or something? I can't remember. So anyway, you don't. I haven't seen much of her since Alita tried to kill her, or at least they thought Alita tried to kill her. So assassinate her, So okay, Jaya has a good point on her. Is that she's kind of childish, and then at times she seems, pretty wise. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. Maybe like a typical monarch, I guess. I don't know. Oh, it's a teddy bear. Yeah, she carries. That's right. Yeah, she's carrying a teddy bear. So Maxie's out there. Hello, Maxie. Yeah, Maxie says a bear, but yeah, I think Jaya had it right. Teddy bear. So
yeah, I remember it being a bear as well. It could be like something similar to who's the character in the comic strip in Charlie Brown, I think it was, where he carries around a blanket.
oh, Linus?
That's the one, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be something like that. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's definitely a quirk, I guess.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just like a quirk that all, like the royals in Alita's world has, I guess.
Yeah, in the movie, they do reference Gelda too. I mean, we just not to shoot off to the side on this, but they would certainly have to have Gelda in a Mars Chronicles series. They certainly would have to. Hello, Jeff or Kunstler 99.
So why isn't Maxie or Jeff on here?
Well, Maxie had a family commitment, and
oh, that's right.
Probably Kunstler 99 didn't have the link. I thought I sent you one, Kunstler, but maybe I didn't.
I guess it could even just be an attachment from her childhood, I guess, in referencing the bear.
Yeah, it could be. Koenig, is that the name of the bear? Is Koenig? I don't remember that.
Koenig. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, that O. Yeah, I guess Finn could tell you that O and Koenig ought to have umlauts over it, right? Right, Finn? So I'd say Koenig. So anyway, I guess that's how you'd say it. So what about an animated series? Is that something, would we want to see a live action series, kind of like, a la The Mandalorian, or maybe more like, animated series, kind of like maybe One Punch Man or something like that? What do you think, Angelus?
Probably a series because you can go into more detail and like it appease the manga readers in the sense that like you can afford to, like I said, go into more detail, more backstory. You'd appease all the movie fans because it's just more content for them to consume.
Yeah.
And it just ticks a lot of boxes. Like, and this is of course outside of like the main three trilogies, like the Star Wars movies to the Clone Wars series. Like both are good but unique in their own right.
Yeah. Well, Jay has a good point. I think he said he'd be happy with either, but I think I would definitely watch either. There's no doubt about that. I think I would prefer a live action though first over animated, but I would watch either one for sure, and would
Oh,
probably
in that
I'd watch it
context.
multiple times too, just like I do the movie. So
Well, it wasn't the reason why I was late. Like I said, my mic is detachable from the headset, and I was trying to actually find it, which is why I like just snuck in there.
yeah,
But I think it was like around midnight our time. I ended up watching Alita with Maxi, just randomly out of the blue. It's like, oh,
yeah,
we were trying, not streaming per se, but like screen sharing in Discord.
yeah,
And we'll say, well, why not try playing the movie Alita? And that's what we did. And
yeah,
like a bit of a watch party-esque sort of thing. And then we just let it run, and obviously Alita did its thing, and we would just ended up, what's the word, enthralled, I guess.
yeah. If I hadn't had to work, I would have watched it with you guys. But Saturday over there, you guys were in the future, and it's Friday here, and it was the last day, so I have to work. So, but I would have watched it with you, that's for sure. Of course, I had to see her beat up those three cyborgs. I got to see that every time. So once that starts, I got to see it. So,
And in the context of the what you guys were speaking of earlier, I'd probably go, like, my personal preference is computer animation using the both the Resident Evil, and there's another,
yeah,
what's the Starship Troopers,
yeah,
because they had a computer animated like movies per se, or a series of movies.
yeah. Did you see
And
that movie? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, because like that sort of, I guess, graphics, you can go into pretty good detail, but at the same time, I guess cheaper than hiring the actor. Like you could, I guess, you could still involve someone like Rosa as a voice actor per se, but
Yeah, Rosa's got to be involved. There's no doubt about it. We got to have Rosa. We definitely do in that. So,
and that's if they like, again, they have to adapt it, but using the what's the word? My English is really bad today. Law. They have to adapt
yeah,
the law that they set in the movies, and then I guess somehow link or reference the manga from there, because again, the law that they set, while they paid great detail and homage to the source material, they didn't exactly stick with it, which is fine for me. But But yeah, the lore that they set in the movie is what they'll have to pretty much stick with for any sort of series that we might see.
Yeah. Well, Finn, I'll tell you this: you can see our English is pretty bad, so you have nothing to be worried about coming on the stream.
I mean, again, we wouldn't call it bad, but who's funny, mine's gone blank. Rahul, when he came on a few times every now and then, um, you know, for all purposes, his English might seem broken, but I mean, we still understood him. So
Yeah, I have to really concentrate hard because that accent I'm not used to. But I bet he thinks my accent is worse than any listening to any Aussie or Englishman. I mean, he probably, oh my goodness, where is this guy from? That's probably what he thinks. So,
well, the
yeah,
US is a pretty large country.
Yeah, it is, and we have some pretty widespread dialects here. Not dialects as much as accents, I guess. Like in England, you go to different parts of England, even though it's on it's an island, relatively small compared to the U.S. They have different dialects there that are English that you can't understand if you speak English. So I mean, at least that's the couple of times, maybe 3 times I've been over there. That's what I've experienced. Hearing somebody from the Midland, not the Midlands, but say the Lake District, in England, sometimes they can be hard to understand. So, don't worry about it, Finn. You don't have to come on, man, if you don't want to. It's cool. We're just ragging on you a little bit. So, but if you ever want to come on, Finn, you're certainly going to be welcome. That's for sure. In terms of 2 series, also that prequel novel and I haven't read that thing, but that's something else that they could come up with, in the whole, Alita universe. I mean, obviously, I not read it, but Alita is not in the prequel, or at least if she is, it would be at the very, very end when Ito finds her. Maybe, I'm not sure about that, but that could be part of the Alita universe too. Everything doesn't have to have Alita in it. Like for instance, that whole arc with Karula and Victor. That didn't have Alita in it, and Alita came into it at the end. I guess after Karula killed Victor, I guess then then Alita comes in, and and then I guess they fight or something like that. But okay, Jaya says Alita is not in the prequel novel. I kind of suspected that, and because I figured if she was, it would be at the very last couple of pages, maybe. But yeah, it's about Hugo and Ito. I think is that right, Jay? I think that's what you got there on the chat. So I guess it covers Hugo's backstory a little bit too, and Ito, I guess, and maybe Shirin. Now it does have Jay. You can put this in the chat, but it does have Ito's daughter in there, right? I mean, certainly it's got to have that, and perhaps yep, and maybe it also. Ito and Shirin and his daughter Alita. I guess they lived up in Zalem for a little while. I guess so.
Yeah, I don't. As much as I'd love to, I wouldn't bank on there being too much literature merch, because I mean that's what the manga's for in a sense.
Yeah.
But like the manga and the adaptation as set by the movie, as I keep on saying, are different enough that I guess you can have both.
Yeah.
And like the hardcore fans would probably consume both, whereas those that have always known the manga will probably stick with it, and those that like the more casual fans will probably just buy the prequel novels, for example, and
Yeah.
with that.
Well, do they have between the Mars Chronicles and the prequel novel? it seems to me there's a pretty big time gap in there. That somebody that was I guess was wanting to create, maybe put together or produce a movie, that would be right after Mars Chronicle, let's say maybe a prequel movie, and before, or it could even include some of the prequel novel. It seems like there's Kishiro didn't write a lot in there, so they could get a little creative with that one, you'd think.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if they'd even be able to because of the whole rights issue. Because Kishiro will probably hold those cards pretty close to his chest, much like how Cameron is with the Alita IP.
Yeah. Well, maybe he ought to start writing some maybe some stories about the time frame between the Mars Chronicles and the prequel, for the movie. You know what I'm saying? Because that's about 300 years. I mean, a lot can happen in 300 years. So he's got some fertile ground there that he can actually get creative with.
That's probably where the series can come into play.
Yeah, and they could do a series on that too. Yeah, and Jay is right. I remember here. Now, I never read the novelization of Alita Battle Angel, but I have listened to the audiobook driving back and forth between North Carolina and Colorado. I've listened to that thing several times. But Hugo does allude to the fact that his father, kind of had one body part replaced at a time until he died. So and he that was one of his driving forces for getting up to Zalem, is he didn't want to die like that like his dad did. So.
Well, like, was he tortured or did he just lose limbs?
No, he's just working in the factory, and I don't know if parts get worn out or he gets injured and has to get replacements or something like that, and then eventually, he becomes more and more cyborg, and then eventually he just dies for whatever reason. I can't remember what it was now, but I do remember Hugo saying that he wasn't going to end up like that. He was going to get up to Zalem and not end up like his father. I do remember hearing that in the audiobook. So.
I guess I gotta reread the prequel novels. I got a lot of homework to do because I gotta rewatch the Blade Runner series and refresh my mind on that for tomorrow.
Yeah,
and a whole lot of things actually.
Yeah, are you the host tomorrow, Angeles?
We're I guess co-hosting because if he ends up coming on, I'll be doing the Billy Blair interview.
Okay.
And Maxie will be doing the second main topic.
Okay. So did we just establish whether Star was whether he's going to be stream manager or not? He's having some computer issues, I think.
I think it's just a reverse role of having you as manager until Star's ready to, I guess get back in rotation.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's been having computer issues for a while. I mean, he's been suffering through that, I guess, and I think he got a brand new computer. So.
Oh yeah, because he mentioned mentioned that it was like a PC that was sort of what's the word for it, pre-built.
Yeah.
And yeah, some specs are good and some specs aren't or whatever, and then carrying over, reinstalling all the hardware that he did need to manage streams.
Yeah.
I think that was mentioned in the group chat as well.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So I can't think of any more characters in the Mars Chronicles that there are a ton of them, though. It's not that there isn't any, but because there are a ton of them. There's that doctor, that kind of takes, Yoko and Erica.
To Vegemite, yeah, that's the one.
Well, it wasn't Vegemite; it was B-Mite, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was probably like Vegemite. So
Or tasty and delicious, like
yeah, and
pineapple.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, and I remember the two of them started they couldn't stand that Vegemite sandwich at first, but after they had a few of them, they started liking them. And I assume that's the way you Aussies are about Vegemite. Maybe the first time you eat it, you don't like it, and then you acquire a taste for it.
I don't know. I guess I've always liked salt on my food, so I just
Yeah,
pour it on there.
yeah, it is pretty salty, But yeah, I've eaten Vegemite with peanut butter, stuff like that. Even on a peanut
One
butter
of my
and
favorite
jelly
combos.
sandwich. Yeah, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I had Vegemite, and that was an interesting taste.
I've
you
gone as
know,
far as and Ray can stop me from talking about it by jumping on stream, but
I don't think you
I've
can.
I've gone as far as spreading Vegemite on my Hawaiian pizza as well. So
Oh, whoa! Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Now Finn says, "What about Marmite?" Well, Marmite is kind of like Vegemite. It's a little. I found it to be a little milder. I don't know. Has that been your experience?
it's like language. It's like a different dialect from a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
section
yeah.
of the country. Only in
It's
this case, it's
yeah,
like
it's very similar, isn't it? Though
yeah.
I know my mother, when she was alive, she used to like Marmite, so because she's British, she was British, so she liked Marmite. That's kind of like Finn there in Germany. A lot of English speakers don't know what spacely is. So potato dumplings, they don't know what those are. So, but I love those things. Oh, Finn, you don't know what that is? Holy mackerel! You don't know what spacely is? Holy mackerel, Finn! I thought being a German, you might know. Of course, I think you live in Switzerland, so that's maybe slightly different. So yeah, that doctor. What was that doctor's name that kind of took in Yoko and Erica and kind of drove them around in the van or something like that. I can't remember his name now. He was real good to them. It was all in that first volume, I guess, when they were looking for Yoko's home. That got destroyed. Jaya,
Yeah, I
Jaya,
get
you
you.
probably know. Jaya, that says he doesn't remember the doctor's name either. Maxie, you probably know. Uh, So anyway, but yeah, he was good to Erica and Yoko, and kind of almost like a father figure, I guess.
Yeah, just flicking through Anderson Volume 3 doesn't seem to really be giving a name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, so may as well get off of that. And then, of course, there's that whole council that I guess Baron Muster. I guess he killed all of them, didn't he? Turned them all into crystals or something, crystallized their bodies or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if they're large enough characters to be that people would even want to like. I can see them wanting to know more about Erica and even more of K. Ruler and Baron Muster, but
Yeah, or even Queen Lymeria. I'd like to know a little bit more about her. Uh, And then there was that other queen at the end of the fourth volume. I can't remember her name either. She has some kind of illness. Uh,
oh,
oh,
like a certain someone's parent.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and
That's not Yoko's parent, is it? Or would you feel like you're spoiling it if you told me?
I'd be spoiling it if I told you.
Okay, all right. Well, don't do that then.
Wait, I wonder if they. But yeah, I know the character you mean because she suffers from a certain condition or
Yeah.
disease.
Yeah, I got through volume 4 and I couldn't. And they didn't go into, what the condition was. They just. Oh yeah, there it is, right there. Jaya just came up with it. Yeah, she has some kind of terminal illness or something, I think. Yeah, it's a good observation, Jaya. Okay, so anyway, I want to definitely see a Mars Chronicles series. I think Disney would be doing themselves a favor if they started streaming this. If they did like 1 or 2 seasons. Uh, Finn's talking about that video. No, I edited the video, Finn, but Splash Bang Maxie and I all put it together. I mean, it wasn't just me doing it. So it was a collaborative effort. Splash Bang actually did the original, I guess, video, and he kind of did it as a salute to the Alita Army. And then Maxie kind of organized it, kind of made it flow, kind of we put together a document. Maxie kind of drove that one, uh, about what goes in it and, how it flows and stuff like that. And I did a lot of editing on it. So it was took the 3 of us to do it. And we were under the gun because we had a deadline to meet because the trash bash was like, I think that was last Friday, I think. And we were, up against that deadline and we turned the video in the day before. So, we barely made it, and part of that reason is the guys at the movie seller wanted us to do it in 4:3 format. So we kind of put that together a little bit. I spent a little bit of time on that one. Then they said, oh, never mind. We'll go ahead and with 16:9. So, but that's okay. It worked out real fine, so, Jay, you might be right about that. About Disney doing the Mars Chronicles. They're going to be real keen. I guess maybe that's why Disney, 20th Century Studios probably needs to do it. And if they probably need to do it if they're going to stream any of this on Disney Plus or Disney 18 Plus, rather. That would, to me, would be a perfect fit for it because I would think that the Mars Chronicles series, from what I've read in the first 4 volumes, it can be pretty graphic, and it's kind of, you kind of read it and you go, oh my God. That's kind of some of my reaction to some of the things that happen in there. And yeah, that's going to be definitely something that little kids don't need to see, but I think if they did that on Disney 18 Plus with 20th Century Studios doing the production on it, I think they'd be fine. Okay, Angeles, I can't think of anything else to say about this Mars Chronicles series.
Aside from just wanting more Alita content.
Absolutely. Yeah, more Alita content, prequels, the series, a trilogy at least. Yeah, Jaya, you're right. Kids getting blown up and being cut down by machine guns is not really something that little kids need to see. That's for sure. So yeah, that's a good point. But once again, Disney does this. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. But if 20th Century Studios does it, I think that would be a little different. Hopefully.
So they're still trading under 20th Century Studios, but they're just owned by Disney now.
Yeah, I think Disney owns 20th Century Studios, and good have a good time grocery shopping, Jaya. So, yeah, I think that's the whole thing. It's kind of like in the old days. Like back in the '90s, the very early 2000s, I guess. Disney owned a company called Touchstone Pictures, and they did all of that heavy duty, not appropriate for children's eyes. But Disney owned them too. But I guess they kind of closed them down. Now they've got 20th Century Studios. And unlike Touchstone, 20th Century Studios has got a history, so I think they got a real asset there if they do this right. At least I hope they do it right because I'm a shareholder in Disney. So anyway, but anyway, I hope that, I hope that's the way that thing works out. Because originally when we were, all these months we've been talking about whether Disney should do Alita or should that be Paramount or Universal or somebody else. That was a concern, that, Disney might, might make it so tame that, us Alita Army types might be disappointed in it or something like that. But now they've got 20th Century Studios. They don't have to do that, I don't think. And I don't think Cameron would let them do that anyway. I think if Disney was to decide they were going to undertake it, Cameron would probably, especially after Avatar becomes a big success, because I think it is going to be Avatar 2 and 3. I think then, that, he's going to have a lot of power, within the company. So anyway, let's hope. That's all I can say about that, because I don't know. I'm not on the inside on this stuff. But that's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, Angelos, I guess, God, it's going to be a short stream because I can't think of anything else. This will probably be the shortest Creek and Angeles stream ever. So, but I can't think of anything else about the Mars Chronicles series except, I'm going to watch it, whether it's live action or animated. I prefer live action like Mandalorian or, say, The Boys. I think Jaya pointed out The Boys. But if it's animated, I'm definitely going to watch it, especially if they're true to the characters. That would be okay with me, I think. And if they have Rosa in it, it's got to have Rosa. So, and
Yeah.
I'd probably watch it without Rosa if they got somebody else, if they recast it. But I would be extremely disappointed and probably mad.
Well, I guess if they do it at different stages of her life, they're gonna have to get a different actor, wouldn't they?
Yeah, probably, but Rosa, has said she'd play Alita till she was 90, and for her that's a long way off. So, because I think she's like in her mid 30s or something like that. So she's looking at another 50 plus years, but she probably wouldn't play the young Alita, the Yoko that we see there in that picture. That would probably need to be someone else, I would guess. Yeah, I don't know, but Rosa's a hell of an actor. She might could pull that off too, I think. Who knows? So
Yeah. I mean, she'd at least be able to get to Creaky's age, I reckon.
yeah, nobody's going to get to my age.
AKA immortal.
Yeah.
Live forever
right.
so we can have a leader forever.
I just hope they do an Alita sequel before I turn freaking 90 years old. That's all I got to say.
Hey, if that's the case, then the army will bring the movie to you.
Yeah, that's right.
How we roll.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, guys, I guess, can you think of anything else, Angeles? I can't think of anything else to say about Mars Chronicles. I'm a little handicapped on this because I've only read 4 of the 6 volumes. So,
well, there's your handicap in a nutshell right there. There's only 6 volumes.
Yeah.
Like all the other arcs have had like bloody upwards of 10 plus.
Yeah, exactly.
That last order has 19, so nearly
20.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, even the manga, itself, the original manga, even though it's 6 books in that box set, it's a lot thicker, I mean, it's it's got a lot of content in it, so
I think they condensed 9 volumes into 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, something like that.
So even if this was like a similarly sized series, they still got about what, 3-ish left to go.
Yeah. Yeah, because I read volume 4. Gosh, I read that thing, and of course I read kind of careful too. I don't like to speed through it, but I read that thing in 2 hours. I mean, even as careful as I am reading it, I just it it's not a hard read really. I mean, there's some places we got a lot of dialogue, but it's not a difficult read, for sure. So
Yeah, and I was just thinking too, Mars Chronicles could extend beyond the 9 volumes that the original arc had, because when I forget if he was sick or if he just took a break, I can't remember. But when Kishiro had a hiatus between
yeah,
the first one and Last Order, I guess people are still wanting more of it, that he just continued on with the story, and then Last Order just kept on growing and growing and growing, and hopefully Mars Chronicles ends up the same way.
well,
So
that's right. He may write 10 volumes on that thing. I
10
mean,
more volumes, something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he could. I mean, we know that volume 7's not done and it's not coming out till July, but hell, he could write several more, after that. I mean, he's got a lot of time frame there. Now, he probably can't go 300 years with it because Alita, kind of, is in hibernation or whatever for the 300 years, where the folks in Zalem think she's dead. I mean, they they think they executed her and she's done. We don't have to worry about her anymore. But boy, were they wrong. So, yeah, he could write, but he could still write many more volumes, for the Mars Chronicle itself. So,
Oh, he's only Maxie's age.
Maxie's just a kid. He's not.
Because yeah, I'm not saying he's his precise age, because I don't know his precise age, but looking it up, Kishiro is only 54.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know the toll that it has on him via his lifestyle, but I mean, if it's something that he loves doing and comes to him naturally, I could probably see him doing manga into his 70s and 80s. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, that's when he'd probably consider, retiring and enjoying the fruits of his labor. But
Yeah, exactly. Well, he does just about all the artwork too. I think somebody told me there was a few panels that he didn't draw, but I think he does like 95% at least, doesn't he?
that I don't know, although Maxie might know more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, go ahead, Angels.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying that's pretty much it for both Kishiro specifically and the topic at hand.
Yeah.
Before we do log off, though, what about news updates, or maybe even a link for your the video that you were working on?
Yeah, I I'll put another link in the chat. I was going to play it, but I was afraid I'd get yeeted.
By your own video.
Yeah, well, the
the
problem is, is that one of the songs in it is "Stand by Me," and even though when you upload a video and they say, "Yeah, we'll let you play that video as long as let you that we run our ads," but when you're streaming, they can't run
Here
ads.
we go.
So, so they might yeet me. So I decided I'd just put the link in here. But anyway, I've got here's the link if anybody's interested in it. So, it's you just click on that link in the chat, and it's we Maxie and Splashbang and I are quite proud of that video. It's kind of the Alita Army in a nutshell. Plus, at the end, we talk a little bit about how we have helped the movie sellers VHS for type 1 diabetes, and where they had that, they kind of had a fundraiser, or a charity drive, I guess, GoFundMe, I think it was, for, helping people with type 1 diabetes, and the Alita Army put a lot of money into that thing. I mean, well over 2 grand, and they had like over 5 grand. So the Alita Army put like 40% of their entire, cash. So, it's pretty cool that you guys do that, because, we're not like what some folks think. We're some damn, toxic fandom that doesn't care about anything about except our movie or something. And we do care a lot about our movie. There's no doubt about that, but you know, uh, we, we want to help out too, so we've done other charities and stuff like that too, so, and I know that, and you'll see in there one of the part of the video, you'll see Rosa is in there in that one Feed the Hungry campaign, that the Elite Army got involved with. So, yeah, we're real proud of that video, and probably not too distant future here, Maxie and Splashbang and I are going to work on that, and just kind of make it more of a. Now it is a pretty Alita Army specific thing, but it does have some stuff in there about the movie seller, which is great. But we kind of want to trim it down to where it's just the Alita Army, eventually. So we're probably going to do that. So. Yeah. Finn's got a good observation here, and I've always thought this. I remember talking to Rido and Cran about this, that the Alita Army is kind of like a big extended family, really. I mean, we may fuss and fight with each other from time to time, but we are a family. So, that's a cool thing. So. Yeah, I guess one thing I do want to bring up though before we go off, I guess that I can't think of anything we might have missed. I mean, I'm sure there is, because even though the Mars Chronicles are not the longest part of the manga, but there's a lot of characters in there, and there's several arcs. So I am so sure we missed something. There's no doubt about that, But I think we hit the high points. At least, about if we were going to have a series on the Mars Chronicles, that could be like a 2-season, 8 episodes per season type of endeavor for Disney or 20th Century Studios, whoever wants to do it. And, they got plenty of content for that. So, boy, our Battle Angel's really pretty, isn't she? Okay, so anyway, yeah, Rose always gets 4 hearts from me. That's for sure. She's a number one in my book. She's a great actress. She really did a great job on Alita. Just her facial expressions were super. I like that. How they had those cameras, and she really hit it. She hit that whole thing out of the park. Not to mention that she's also very pretty. So that's being a great actress like she is and being pretty. That's kind of like a 2-for-1 type deal right there. So
icing on the cake.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. So anyway, why is this image here? You guys hear me say this every week. It's here because I like it and because I'm running the stream, as David has pointed out a couple of times. But to paraphrase Gorishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Elite Army. So now, before we sign off, I guess just a couple of things. I just want to remind everybody that we got a poll going on, and we are in the finals of the science fiction canon, and so far we are nailing it. Alien is a good movie, that's for sure. But as you can see, we're almost doubling them up in terms of votes. I think the last count we had something like a 80 to 90 vote lead, and there's only 280 votes. So 281 votes. So that's a significant lead right there. And we got probably at this point like 23 hours left. So but let's not get complacent. If you haven't voted, go vote for Alita. I'm going to be putting some more tweets out. in my tweet deck, and a couple of tweets today I'm going to put out. So if you just be on the lookout for it. But we do want Alita to win as many of these polls as we can, or at least get her name out there. So that just kind of keeps Alita in the minds of all these folks, that might be making decisions of some kind, about whether or not to do a sequel or a series or a trilogy, or just as Angela says, more Alita content. So vote for our girl. Okay, so tomorrow, just a reminder, we got the Radio Chaos stream tomorrow. Angelus is going to be one of the co-hosts. I guess Maxie and Angelus are going to kind of work together on that one. And tomorrow is going to be pretty cool. Last week, we tried to get Billy Blair on, and he got tied up in a movie. I went and looked at his IMDb page, and that's a busy man right there. He's definitely got a lot of projects going right now. So it's amazing how many movies he's been in just in 2021. So just a ton of them. So hopefully he's committed. He's going to be on tomorrow, and he's probably going to show up a few minutes early. Like I say, Angelus and Maxie will be the co-host. I guess I'm going to be managing the stream because I don't think Tony's going. Starbellian's going to be ready yet because he hadn't fixed his computer issues. So I guess I'll be doing that stream. So anyway, but I love doing these streams, so it's not a problem. Okay, Angelus, any last words there that you can think of?
No, just dreaming of an Alita Christmas, so to speak.
You betcha. Yeah, it's going to be like Christmas when they come up with that damn sequel announcement. That's going to be great. And let's hope that IMDb article about Alita being in development, Alita 2, let's hope there's something behind that. We're going to be skeptical for sure because we've been disappointed so many times. But at least
I wouldn't say disappointed, but we'll definitely it's probably not breaking any new ground because even Alita 1 was in development for a long time as well.
Yeah, that's right. It was in development for 10 years, something like that. Yeah, I guess when did Cameron buy the rights? So that was in the 90s, wasn't it? The late 90s.
Oh no, early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Yeah, because I think Guillermo del Toro actually, made him aware of it, didn't he? And then he went and bought the manga, I guess, and loved it. So.
Yeah, Del Toro introduced Cameron, and then Cameron decided to go to Avatar and introduce it to Rob Rod.
Yeah, and there's our Maxie. He did make it.
Yeah,
I just escaped the family for 5 minutes.
Fair enough.
Well, now, Maxie, you know what I said on Twitter? There's nothing more important than family, that's for sure. But but I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, you got a happy wife, happy life, rah rah rah. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been down that path 2 times. So anyway,
I wish I'd been on this stream, man. There were so many times I could have interjected with useful information, but oh well.
Yeah, like I was telling Angelus there, that I'm kind of handicapped that I've only read 4 volumes. I finished the other one today, but I haven't been able to get to it. But I said, I got to read these volumes, So I read it, and I was just telling Angelus how careful I am about reading. I like to go slow as I can, just to make sure I don't miss anything, and I still miss stuff. But it took me about 2 hours.
So that's why you haven't finished my fanfic.
That's exactly right. And I promise you, I'm going to read that. I definitely am, because one of the things I want to do with that, Maxie, is I want to write a treatment. After I get through it, I want to write a treatment, and then probably put together a little PowerPoint on it. Because I've done a couple of treatments, for other little shorts. My nephew actually has a small production company. He's been in a couple of film festivals, and helped him with that. Not to mention the fact being executive producer, which means I buy the pizza and beer, so and pay for the
Hawaiian pizza.
fee. Yeah, with pineapple on it. Yes. So,
Well, I look forward to it.
oh, absolutely.
Why?
Yeah.
What? You look forward to pineapple pizza? Ooh.
No, he's looking forward to my treatment. But I
I
did
look
read.
forward to hearing his treatment.
Yeah.
Aw.
You know what you can do with your pineapple pizza there, Andy.
Yeah, I
You
did
can
read
go
that
home and
first.
eat it.
I read that first chapter and I loved it. I mean, I just love the way Alita is, is interacting with these other motor ballers, like Joshigan and Adjicutty and these guys. It was just so funny. I mean, it's just so different than how she interacted with Joshigan in the novelization. She's all giddy and all that, but she in your novelization, she's all business, which I love.
Well, the difference between that is she was a giddy teenager
Yeah,
when in the novelization,
yeah,
but then since then she's lost Hugo,
yeah,
and she's fought a whole bunch of people, and yeah, she's not the same girl anymore.
yeah. She's grown up. That's exactly right. So.
Yeah. So I wanted to say all of this stuff is that I put into this thing is representative of her story arc, her change, the change in situation, and combining all the sources of the manga and the novels and the movie. So, I'm putting my own little sprinkle of interesting stuff in.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to mention for those who are listening that we've got a huge lineup of guests tomorrow. Not just Billy Blair, but we've also got Foxfire's coming on. We've got come on, brain work. Foxfire. We've got Enigma Seeker, Billy Blair.
Well, Cran's coming on, isn't she?
No, Cran's not coming on.
No.
Oh, I thought Cran was coming on.
Cran came up with the topic, but she just
okay.
couldn't do that. She pussied out. So there you go. You've got to give her a hard time about that. But no, we've got Billy Blair, Foxfire, Enigma Seeker,
Yeah.
Robert from the Sci-Fi Remnant podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
coming on. And my good friend Doc Joe, who was on your last stream. He's coming on.
He was a real plus on that one stream. He was on with us on the radio, or that was our stream, wasn't it?
That was your stream.
Yeah, it was. He was great.
He's never been on Radio Chaos. This will be his first time.
Yeah, that's where we were talking about cyborgs and stuff. Yeah, yeah, he was great. Yeah, he was definitely a positive. I think so.
He's a big fan of the two movies, so he's very keen to talk about them. So
nice.
He's doing the getting up at 6 a.m. to have his coffee to be ready for the 7 a.m. start. So that's pretty keen on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, he had some interesting thoughts about artificial intelligence, didn't he? That was pretty interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
the whole what does it mean to be human thing, that's the bit he's going to cotton on to.
Yeah.
So it should be a big discussion. We got lots of people on. I don't think Billy's hanging around for the whole thing. He's only got like an hour.
Yeah.
We probably won't spend an hour talking to him specifically about his stuff. Probably more like 30 to 45. There's a whole bunch of news because it's a 2-week hiatus. And of course, that thing you were talking about with the suggestion that they're working on Alita 2.
Yeah.
I've got some thoughts about that, but I'll save that for tomorrow.
Yeah, I put up a little thing at the beginning of this stream, and with the caveat is just keep your fingers crossed, that kind of thing, because like we were talking about, we've been disappointed a few times,
I don't think it could be much more than pre project presentation preparation. So, so you know that you've read about when Rob Rod and John Landau had to go to the execs at 20th Century.
Yeah.
And they had one last shot to get it through, and if it didn't get through, it was probably just going to die.
Yeah.
That is what I think they're preparing for. They're preparing it for the green light presentation to get the green light. I don't think they're. It's in production. It's
Oh no.
Just
Yeah, it can't be in production. I mean, at this point, it could have been nothing like we discussed. It could be nothing more than just, some guys that, like you mentioned, maybe Cameron and Landau were there, but they could have been no more than just some of the guys that work at Disney had a quick meeting on it, maybe discussed the possibility. Maybe they may have assigned somebody to it, but it may have been like 1-2 meeting stops, and that'd have been it. That would still be considered in development. So,
it's in preparation is what I would call it.
Yeah,
You've worked in business. You know that you've got to do a business case.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Put it to the boss to get funding. That's what this is. It's a business case. So that's what they're working on. It's not in production as in it's been greenlit and they're producing it. It's in preparation. So it's a business case preparation. That will be as far as it's got. But that's good news if it's happening. I hope that this is accurate, but it's small steps. We can't expect this a green light announcement. Bang, there you go.
Oh no, exactly. But I tell you one thing that is encouraging about it, though, is that IMDb is not a fly-by-night company. They
I don't deal with rumors. I don't deal with rumors. So there must be some basis to it somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, but like I say, I just have my fingers crossed and hoping for the best. Is what I'm doing. So
anyway, my spare 10 minutes has come to an end. I have to get coming.
Okay, well we're gonna wrap it up anyway, Maxie. So we want to do the call to action, I guess, because we've already announced yesterday's thing. So or tomorrow's stream rather. So anyway, on my count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Buy that Blu-ray, baby.
All right, see you guys next time.